Coming up on Dispatch Pacific, we're in Kuching, Malaysia for Pacific Partnership 2017. Join us as we take you through this multilateral preparedness mission. I'm Petty Officer David Fluellen. Behind me is Kuching on the island of Borneo. I'm here for the Malaysia phase of Pacific Partnership 2017. Born out of the devastation wrought by the 2004 tsunami that swept through parts of Asia, Pacific Partnership began as a military-led humanitarian response to a catastrophic natural disaster. The mission has evolved over time, though, focusing on regional resiliency through engineering and health engagements and knowledge exchanges, and has become the largest annual multilateral humanitarian assistance and disaster relief preparedness mission conducted in the Indo-Asia Pacific. The 12th iteration of the mission, Pacific Partnership 2017 participants included the U.S., Malaysia, Japan, Korea, and Australia. The USNS Fall River served as the primary mission platform for Commander Coastal Riverine Group 1.
We started in Singapore. That's where we did our initial staging. And then after that, we went to Sri Lanka, where we spent approximately 10 days in Hambantota. That, in fact, was the first mission for Pacific Partnership to Sri Lanka. I think it was a fantastic way to start this mission. Many great successes there. After that, it was a port visit in Myanmar. And what made that special is that we were the first U.S. flagged vessel to go in Myanmar since 1962. So after we left Myanmar, we came to Malaysia, and we are now in Kuching. So Kuching is where the main level of effort for Pacific Partnership 17 is in Malaysia. So this is where we're going to do our large humanitarian disaster relief exercise. We also have significant medical engagement, engineering engagements here, and also community events. So it's pretty fantastic being here, and we're very busy, but it's a very worthwhile mission.
By the time I arrived in Malaysia, Seabees with Amphibious Construction Battalion 1 were already hard at work alongside their Malaysian and Japanese counterparts, building and making repairs to local schools in the rural areas outside of Kuching.
Well, what we're doing right now is it's a group effort. We have the Japanese, have the middle agents, and you have us, and we're working all together to put together this project.
Working long days in the jungle heat is no easy task, but for these sailors, the work was worth the reward.
The Pacific Partnership, we put in this collective effort and for our future generations, and they see the collaboration, and it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
But the Seabees weren't the only ones hard at work. Medical personnel from the U.S. and other partner nations were conducting medical outreach programs around the area. Medical engagements like these help Pacific nations get real-world experience working side by side to enhance their collective abilities to respond to potential crisis. While training for crisis conditions, they can also assist local people in need of real-world medical care. All the while providing an opportunity for the partner nations to exchange knowledge and culture.
But there are many ways to engage culturally, and as you can see behind me here, the Pacific Fleet Band is playing for a crowded audience here at the Damai Cultural Center.
The Damai Cultural Center is a live entertainment complex popular with locals in the area. Based in Hawaii, the Pacific Fleet Band provides musical support for official functions, morale, and community outreach programs. And we're on the ground in Malaysia in support of Pacific Partnership.
Personally, I think this is the essence of what Pacific Partnership is. We get to cross language barriers, come together and do what we love, and that's the ultimate show of our cooperation, is how we get along and play music together.
Fans turned out to hear the group's rendition of favorites such as Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk and George Michael's Careless Whisper. But the song that really brought down the house was their collaboration on a Malaysian song with a local group, the Sarawak Cultural Band.
Oh, it was like a dream. It was like a huge family. Everybody came together and we all, figured out one song we could play together and just played our hearts out. It was a lot of fun.
Music may be the universal language, but in sports, you can communicate without making a sound. I'm here at Echo Park outside Kuching with some of my new friends.
Hi!
Where U.S. sailors and Marines are interacting with local Boy Scouts. The sailors and Marines turned out for a day of sports and activities with scouts from around the state of Sarawak.
We're at a local Boy Scouts camp called Eco Park, and we're basically participating in a field day with them. So we have a bunch of military members that are playing all sorts of different sports with them, soccer, canoeing, zip lining, and I'm doing the basic life support CPR classes with them, basically just kind of going over simple things that might potentially help them out. A lot of them are really quick learners. They're picking up on it really quick, and it's an awesome experience.
Local teacher, Serena Muhammad Noor, tells us why she thinks these events are important for her students.
This is important because they know a new culture that is interesting for them, I think. They meet something new, different colors, different language. I think it's a really good thing.
And of course, our friends from the Pacific Fleet Band dropped by for a last-minute concert. The Scouts were excited, to say the least. But it can't all be fun and games. It was almost time for the capstone event of Pacific Partnership Malaysia, the Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Relief Exercise.
So today we've got the Malaysian Armed Forces consisting of the Air Force, the Army, the Navy. They also have civilian disaster response agencies. We've got Australian Defense Force. We've got the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force. We've got the Republic of Korea Navy and Army.
During the event, sailors, Marines, and soldiers worked alongside their foreign counterparts to triage and treat simulated casualties.
So the premise of this exercise was a scenario where we had a flood scenario in a town just outside of Kuching. Boats came out, rescued some individuals. A helicopter also came out, rescued some individuals or some victims, and then transported them to this field hospital behind us.
The partner nations were put in close proximity in a simulated disaster environment where they had to strive to operate together efficiently.
We often like to come and engage with our partners here, not to teach them how to do it, but to see how they work, to exchange knowledge information, and for all of us to get better. And that's one thing that even a small exercise like this in Kuching does.
But Pacific Partnership isn't just about exchanging information. It's also about tangible change. Remember that school the Seabees were working on? You know, this one? Well, here it is again a week later, finished and ready for use. The atmosphere was one of excitement. Local dance troupes performed, there was an official ribbon cutting, and the U.S. ambassador to Malaysia said a few words.
We want the children of this school now to do the most important work, which is to learn and to educate themselves so they can be great leaders for Malaysia.
Soon, the Pacific Partnership team was going to pack up and get back on board the Fall River, heading on to another stop in Malaysia and finally Vietnam. As my time in Malaysia drew to a close, the thing that stuck with me the most was the people I met. Throughout the training events, the engineering projects, and the community outreach, the highlight was watching new friendships form between people from all different parts of the world. After all, it's right there in the name, Pacific Partnership. And you can't have a partnership without people. I'm Petty Officer David Fluellen, and from all of us at AFN Pacific, thanks for watching.